So nice to meet you here today. Um, if you don't know me, let me introduce myself. I'm Jolene McNutt. I'm Army Wife Network's News 6 correspondent. You might recognize this nice Wisconsin accent from Army Wife Talk Radio, where I do our news stories every week. No matter how hard I try, this accent always sneaks in. Today I'm coming at you from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. It's a toasty 90 degrees. I was actually going to do it outside, but with the sun like beating down on us, I was like, nope, moving it inside because it's too hot. It's already hot. I'm not complaining. I wait all year for summer, so I'm happy that summer's here. In fact, that's our topic today. We're going to be talking about summer. But honestly, before I begin, just in light of the world around us, my topic kind of seems frivolous today, and so I want just to acknowledge that here. Tomorrow, I think Army Wife Network owner and Commander Sharita Noblock will be sharing her heart and truly the hearts of us on the command team at Army Wife Network here. I don't want you to miss that, but I also don't want to just miss the point that there's a lot going on in our world, and I want to recognize that before I just go pushing forward with my topic, that there's a lot happening and that we really stand with people of color, and we see you, and this is so heavy and so heartbreaking, and I don't have the right words for it, and so I just want to acknowledge that before I get started. Okay, so let me take a step back. I had a moment of panic or disappointment or fear, anxiety, stress, I don't know, a whole host of emotions a couple weeks ago. In fact, it was 3 weeks ago. My son was on a little call with his third grade family and his little classroom, and his teacher said, well, that's it, students. After this, next couple days, we're done. I won't be sending out any assignments. And my stomach dropped. I was like, what? We have 3 more weeks. I'm not ready for this. And so here we are. Summer is here, whether we like it or not. And truly this week it would have been here anyway. And just this year, normally I look forward to summer so much. Our son, I'm lucky that I work part-time from home, and so I kind of am able to adjust my schedule most of the summer so that way we can fit in some fun things. And Sharita, thank you. In fact, Sharita said she just shared the statement, so please see that. Thanks for correcting me in that, Sharita, and catching me on that. So normally I'm so fortunate, we're so lucky that we explore museums and we go to parks and we kind of build it in around my schedule, which is so lucky. But this summer already, I feel like we've been in summer already because we've just been at home for weeks and weeks and weeks now, like all of you. And I'm like, what are we going to do this year? So I also kind of so there's that component of it, but there's also like this fact that I've been kind of mourning our summer plans that have already been canceled or are very up in the air. In comparison, last summer, we hosted family and friends at our house from mid-May through about mid-August, almost to the end of August, every single week, with the exception of 2 weeks last summer. We had someone here at our house every single week, the whole summer. Those 2 weeks that we didn't have someone, I was actually visiting our family in Wisconsin. So it's like, I'm so bummed because last year we had such a great summer to look forward to, and now this summer I'm feeling kind of like, hey, is summer canceled? It feels like it's canceled. If I had to guess, I would guess that maybe I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm imagining some of you also feel this way. And so let's first agree, summer is not canceled. It's different, sure, but we can make the most of summer while maintaining social distancing, and maybe getting together with fewer people, maybe more often, whether, spending time with your spouse and having some additional quality time with your spouse and your children or some of your best friends. So I want to just step back and remind you that I am just a military spouse and a mom and a wife, and I'm not an expert in COVID-19 at all. You know your unique community, you know your family, so please take precautions in keeping your family safe this summer. I'm hoping to offer up some great ideas for you, but I just want to stress that you know your family and your community best, so keep that in mind as you make your plans. If you know me, I tend to go on some deep dives into everything. So as I kind of had this overwhelming, like I said, realization that, oh shoot, summer's here. What are we going to do? Parks are closed. We have nowhere to go. I decided to kind of dig in and see what is the summer going to look like. And so I've created what I'm calling my summer bucket list, COVID edition. I am sharing it with you today because I think that you might be able to maybe use it as a reference, but also I'd like to hear feedback from you. If you have ideas or suggestions, things that you're planning on doing, share it in the comments, because I want to get that communication going and have that conversation with you, because I want to hear what you have to say about that. Yesterday, my 9-year-old son spent basically the whole day in his chair, so I'm definitely like literally the same chair all day. He read a book, he played with putty, he played on his tablet, he watched World War II stuff, dug into a virtual museum with World War II stuff. I thought I could use some additional suggestions. I'm definitely open to it. So share your ideas in the comments, please. Okay, so, and I just realized I don't have up my list. Shrita, thank you for posting, because I had a list of things to share. I have a blog post that'll be up on Army Wife Network later today, or not later today, sometime in the next week or so, that will share all of the information that I'm sharing here, because I just realized I don't have my list with me. I'll get that for you. I'll add it to the comments. So I began my research. As I said, I'm a deep diver. I dig deep. I started with an article published by NPR that examined the top 14 summer activities, like in the risks of doing those top summer activities. Things like barbecues with friends and neighbors, and all the way to like traveling. And so this article kind of is where I started out my ideas. So first, I plan to do cookouts with my neighbors. They said it's a pretty safe thing. We do plan to invite our neighbors over for maybe outdoor picnic, or maybe outdoor bring your own everything, happy hour or whatnot. So our neighbors happen to all be retirees, and so they're at a little bit higher risk for complications. So I kind of envision hauling our chairs out to our cul-de-sac, enjoying our drinks on the deck or on the cul-de-sac together, and just ensuring that we are keeping that 6 feet of separation, not 16. I'm also not planning on throwing a black party this summer. We had talked about it actually a little bit in our neighborhood, and so we decided let's hold off. We'll celebrate big next summer. No biggie. We can be flexible. In fact, that's what we are as MilSpouses. We are flexible, if nothing else. Next, I plan on doing maybe kind of an around the world concept with local restaurants, and I'm calling it traveling takeout. I really want to support our local businesses, and I sometimes get sick of my own cooking. So from that list of restaurants that are offering takeout, because we don't plan to dine in this summer, we just, for our family, it's safer to not dine in. And so we are planning on doing takeout, ordering, picking it up, dining outside al fresco at a local park that we love, or even just bringing it back home and enjoying it, on our deck and just relaxing and kicking back a little bit to really enjoy that time. It also gives me the opportunity to try some new restaurants, because I'm so guilty of always going to the same restaurants. So I'm looking forward to that. Our next topic, which is a big one for us because it's so toasty all the time around here, we love a good day at the beach. We're so fortunate to live about 2 hours from the Atlantic coast. We often do quick weekend trips or even day trips. My husband and son love, love, love to fish. I personally love the sun and the sand and the sounds of the beach. And we all love playing in the water. And so beach time is absolutely on our bucket list for the summer. But we're going to play it a bit safe. We'll likely pack our own food we already have a son with food allergies, and so we're used to packing our food, so that's like easy peasy for me to be like, okay, we're just gonna double down, and instead of having, going to our favorite beach restaurant, we'll check out our cooler and fill that up with goodies for the day. Or I plan to, if we decide that, yeah, we do want to support locally once again, I will look into that pretty closely before we go, just to ensure that I'm not stuck in a takeout line full of people all over the place, because it gets a little crazy sometimes in the summer. We're also maybe considering, rather than doing our day trips, which we do multiple times, maybe considering doing a little bit longer, bigger trip, renting an Airbnb close enough to the coast that we can go to the beach, in maybe the less busy times, use our Airbnb facilities or hotel facilities, so that way we're wiping down our surfaces and we're cleaning the sheets or bringing our own bedding, so that way we're keeping ourselves safe at an Airbnb, or safer, but we also aren't using public facilities. So that's kind of up in there. That's kind of where we're at with that one. Another great thing, so my next point, off the beaten path, I love finding little hidden gems. And we are so lucky here in North Carolina to where, like I said before, we're 2 hours from the beach. That's on the East Coast. And then if you go further west, you're just maybe about 3 hours to mountains, sometimes less if you want smaller mountains. Awesome location to be in. Like, I love North Carolina so much for that reason. It's such a great space to be and so many things to explore. But that also means that there are a lot of people often exploring too. And so to combat that, I'm working on compiling some locations in, with like an hour radius, 2 hour radius from us, that maybe aren't quite as popular. To do that, I primarily use TripAdvisor. The forums that they have there are fantastic. And then I also use Google, where they have the reviews, and they show like what times are the busiest. I know I've already said this. I kind of go down that rabbit hole super easily. But sometimes in those reviews and the forums, you find these really good little nuggets and tidbits about if it's like an area, someone's like, hey, check this out. It's usually a low trafficked area, or this is a really hidden gem that's special to our area. You find those in those forums, and I love finding and digging those out. Those have been some of our best experiences. And then finally, my big one, we're planning on taking some virtual tours. One of the best things I've discovered the last few months are these tremendous, just incredible online resources that are there for us to explore. Things like zoos and museums and art museums, history, aquariums. There are so many of these little treasures that can be explored from the comfort of your couch. And so what I've decided to do is create a tour list for our family. My son and I will virtually explore a different location each week. And so I've created I'm going to show you this. Okay, I'm not a type A personality, so excuse my spreadsheet skills, but I'm going to share this with you. I'll share a link with you too, so if you want to make it your own. But I've broken this up by week. So across the top, I have the date and a topic. So next week, we are exploring NASA, because we love space in our house. NASA is big, hot stuff right now. It's so fun to watch all the big stuff going down and the new era that we have happening. And so on my list, I have local things to do. So I'm hoping to plan a stargazing night to kind of fit with our NASA theme. In-house, I found some great science experiments on NASA's website, and they have some virtual tours online that you can explore. NASA really has, we could probably spend 2 months on NASA, truthfully. And then from there, I'm hoping to use our library. They have like a order online and pick it up resources, so that way we can supplement some of the online resources we're finding and maybe get a little off the screens, because we're a little heavy on screens these days. And then I personally have just created some questions that we can discuss throughout the week and explore as we're going. So like, what's the new Dragon X like? How do those new spacesuits work? If you were an astronaut, what would you bring with you to the International Space Station? And so I've created this whole list. Once again, I made it in Google Docs. I'm not a spreadsheet. I'm not type A. I'm not going to lie. But I have that just in case you need a little direction or you want some help, because I felt so overwhelmed, and I thought, you know what, having a theme each week at least brings us back to something and has us working towards something together. And so 1 week we're going to do Disney. Disney has roller coasters that you can do virtually. Obviously, there are a million Disney recipes out there. Dole Whip, that's one of our top ones that we're going to be making when it gets to Disney week. We'll do Disney music, blasting in that, and maybe watching some Disney movies. And so we're just going to try and carry that theme throughout the summer, which is something I probably would not have done had I not been forced into it. We would have just gone with our usual parks and splash pads and pools and whatnot. So this is a really good opportunity for us to get some cultural experience and dive deep into some different things that we really enjoy. Additionally, I have some extra resources, and I cannot believe, I'm so sorry, I forgot. On this Facebook Live, I always get a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. I get a little nervous during these, and I set it off to the side. But I'll post into the comments additional links. One is the Harvard Gazette. You have they have a link to how to have outdoor fun in the COVID era, but keep your distance. That was a really good article that I read. I have a list of virtual museums from Business Traveler, huge list. That was great. Good Housekeeping also had a list of virtual tours that were great to review. The National Aquarium in Baltimore has a virtual tour. And then another really cool one was Insider.com shared national parks. They have virtual tours for some national parks. And so as MilSpouses, we are so fortunate that we've already learned how to roll with it, right? Like military life, if nothing else, has taught me to be flexible. And I'm so grateful for that, because rather than feeling frustrated or overwhelmed about this, I'm so looking forward to summer. It's different, but it's going to be great. I hope that you'll join along with us. And I hope that if you have some suggestions or comments to add, that you'll suggest them to me, because guess what? My 9-year-old son's back in his chair. We need some help. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. I really enjoy spending this time with you today.